You, Sam, and Colby were all very close as friends. They cared very much about you, and they were filming Hell Week. They had bought an abandoned school that was haunted, and they were spending a whole week there, and they wanted you along for the ride. Today was your first day there, and they smiled, setting up the camera and such. Once they pressed record, Sam spoke first. What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby, and welcome to Hell We Eek, Sam would say excitedly, and we're joined with Rose, Colby would add.
Secretly.
Sam and Colby smiled before Sam spoke. So today we are going out first ghost hunt, and we thought it would be fun for Rose to join us, he said happily. Yeah, she's never even experienced paranormal before, so it should be fun, Colby said with a laugh. Sam and Colby looked at you with raised eyebrows. Wait, really? What was it like? They both asked at the same time. How young? Colby asked curiously. Whoa, a 7-year-old and you experienced the paranormal? Crazy, Sam said in shock. Of course, Sam said with a nod before he started walking into the abandoned school. Sam was completely oblivious to it as they both were good at hiding it. They entered the school and started walking around to find a good area to start doing the ghost hunt.
Alexa, how do you spell pent? Alexa, how do you spell penthouse?
Penthouse is spelled Penthouse.
Whatever. He knows what I mean. You know what? Actually, I have a better idea. Since my AirPods are actually connected, saving the I want to save like the knobs on them so I can use them for something else. Do you want the tour? Over there's the kitchen and the living room. Down those halls are the rooms and the office that I've been calling you in. Computer and separate, yeah. Clearly, she doesn't see her mom at lingerie. Well, seducing her dad, basically. Clearly, she doesn't see me in my lingerie. Damn. Hey Siri, how do you spell sweatshirt?
Sweatshirt. SWEATSHIRT.
You know, Cooper, you kind of remind me of my little brother that I never had. Is there anything evil here? Cooper? Cooper, is there anything evil here in the boiler room? Should we be afraid?
Sam and Colby exchanged nervous glances. Colby spoke up. So there's something evil in the boiler room? Colby spoke up. Cooper spoke again. Yes. It's dangerous. You need to leave now. Cooper spoke quickly, clearly worried as he spoke. It's angry and it wants to hurt you. You're welcome, Cooper said, sounding scared still. Sam and Colby both went silent as you turned off the app. They were both obviously very freaked out to know there was something dangerous in here with them. We need to go now, Sam said quickly, his voice shaking a bit as he started walking out of the room. Colby nodded quickly as he followed behind Sam. They made their way back down the hallway and eventually made their way out of the building. Hell no, Colby said quick. Are you kidding me? Not with that thing here, Sam added as they all kept walking. As you made it out of the building, they both looked at you confused. What view? Colby asked. Sam and Colby exchanged looks before they both smiled, understanding what you meant. Oh, yeah, that. We are 100% uploading this, Colby said, sounding excited. Sam and Colby exchanged a look, both of them realizing the connection. Sam spoke up. Yeah, we wanted to see if you had the ability to communicate with the spirits in the building. We had no idea you'd be able to talk to your great uncle, though. They both looked at you carefully before Sam spoke up again. Are you okay? This is a lot to take in. You could see the concern in their eyes, and you could feel their hands gently patting your back and rubbing your shoulder reassuringly. They were both silent, seemingly waiting for you to say something, unsure of how to console you. In this moment,
Colby seemed like he didn't understand what you meant by that.
Inside the room, both Antonio and Marco were fast asleep in their beds. Both of them had a peaceful expression on their faces while they slept. Colby stood in the doorway of their room, looking at both of them as they peacefully slept. He let out a quiet sigh and spoke up, keeping his voice quiet so he wouldn't wake them up. Well, at least they're all right.
You went to Colby and had a good friendship group, which consisted of Sam, Colby, Kat, Stas, you. About rumors of Stas's death. Apparently, she was killed by someone portraying to be Ghostface from the Scream movies. Sam, why would someone kill Stas? Jake, beats me, dude. Everyone was having their own conversations until the bell rang signaling the end of lunch, and it was time to head to class for your next lesson. You all started to walk down the hallway to get to class. Colby turned to you with his hands in his pockets. He tilted his head, a playful smirk on his face. Hey, need something? He rubbed the back of his neck and chuckled softly. Ah, my bad. I got busy. Sorry.
You know you don't have to hide your little secret with me. Clearly, we're both screen face. Ghost face.
He raised an eyebrow as he stopped walking to look at you. What are you talking about? He asked, trying to sound confused, but there was something else beneath his tone.
You don't have to hide anything from your girlfriend, you know that?
Colby's eyes widened at this as he tensed up a little. For a moment, he stayed silent as he looked straight at you. How'd you figure it out?
Always out late and you killed Stas.
He looked around for a moment to make sure no one was eavesdropping on their conversation. He was silent for a few moments before he spoke lowly. Yay, I did. How did you know?
You have blood all over your shirt?
He looked down at his shirt and swore under his breath, God damn it. I didn't notice.
Do you think the others notice?
He looked around once more before he shook his head. Probably not. They were all having their own conversations. I guess they didn't pay me much attention.
Nor that they have a vampire in the state?
He chuckled softly, his gaze never leaving you. Very funny. Real funny, he said sarcastically.
You don't believe me? She shows her her teeth.
His eyes widened a little, seeing your fangs. How did you do that?
Well, vampires can hide their face.
He looked dumbfounded for a moment before he spoke again. And I take it everyone else doesn't know?
No, you're the only one.
He raised an eyebrow at this. Why are you telling me this? I could easily expose you to everyone else in the school.
I know you won't, though.
What makes you so sure about that? He asked, crossing his arms as he leaned against the lockers.
I know you. You killed Stas for me to have blood source.
He chuckled softly as a grin spread across his face. He nodded his head. Yay, I did. Couldn't have you starving, could I?
No. But who's gonna be your next victim?
He hummed, resting his chin on his hand as he thought, I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking Kat. Or perhaps Corey. What do you think, darling?
Corey, he's annoying.
He chuckled and nodded his head. Yay, he is. Very annoying.
What about that friend of yours, Elton?
He frowned a little as you mentioned Elton. Yay, what about him?
He's also annoying. He's saying that you should not be dating a vampire.
Colby's frown deepened and his expression turned slightly angry. He said that, did he?
He said it right to my face.
His fist clenched at his side as he felt anger and irritation wash over him. Of course he did. That bastard.
I feel so weird doing this.
He growled under his breath as he clenched his fists tighter, his eyes narrowing. Does he not realize that it's my life? I can date who I want. He raised an eyebrow at this. What? Right here, right now? He chuckled, shaking his head. You sure you want to do this in the hallway? Where other people can see us? He looked over at the closet next to them. In there? Really? He sighed and rolled his eyes. Fine, fine. Come on. He gestured for you to follow him and walked to the closet and opened the door. He waited for you to walk into the closet before looking around the hallway to make sure no one was looking. He then followed you into the closet, shutting the door behind them. He was now in the cramped, small closet with you. It was quite dark inside here. He leaned against the door and looked at you. We have to be quiet here. We don't want anyone hearing us. He took a step closer to you, standing directly in front of you, only a few inches apart from each other. He kept his voice low and quiet, ready. Darling? He gently took hold of your hips and pushed you against the wall, trapping you between him and the wall. He leaned in, his face getting closer to your face. He paused just before the point where our lips were touching, his warm breath against your face. His grip on your body tightened a little as he leaned in even more, his lips just brushing against yours. The anticipation and the buildup made your heart skip a beat. He smirked against your lips. His eyes were closed, but he knew they were centimeters away from locking lips. He teased you, brushing his lips against your own over and over again, but pulling back each time. He leaned his forehead against yours. He was so tantalizingly close. All you needed to do was pull him the rest of the way, but he wasn't giving in. He was enjoying this game very much. He loved to tease you, to make you want him so badly, to make you ache for him. His voice was a low whisper as he spoke, his lips brushing against yours, tantalizing and teasing. You want to kiss me, darling? Is that what you want right now? Do you want me to kiss you? He chuckled, his grin growing as he heard your answer. He leaned in slightly, bringing his face closer to yours. Then say please. His smirk grew before he spoke again. He was enjoying this way too much. Beg me to kiss you. Beg me to press my lips against yours. I want to hear you beg for it, darling. That was all it took. The two words you spoke instantly had him on you. A low, guttural groan slipped from his throat as he pressed his body flush against yours. His lips quickly found yours as he finally closed the gap between the two of you. The kiss was intense and passionate, just like everything else about him. He pressed himself against you, his arms wrapping around you, pulling you tight against him. The kiss was heated and hungry, full of desire and want. He deepened the kiss, his tongue slipping past your lips as he explored the inside of your mouth. His hands began to roam around your body, going over your curves and curves. He grabbed your thighs and lifted you up, holding you against the wall as he kept kissing you. He knew what he was doing. He was driving you crazy. He wanted to hear you moan for him before he was done. He broke the kisses for only a moment, breathing heavily as he spoke again. I love it when you call me daddy, he said, his voice slightly breathless before he continued kissing you. This time, his movements were more rough, almost possessive. He was marking you as his. He needed you and you alone, and he would make sure everyone knew that. Colby was slightly startled and stopped kissing you for a moment. What was that? He leaned away from you, listening for a moment to see if he could hear what was going on. He then looked back at you. Do you think someone heard us? He sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose, irritation and annoyance visible on his face. Damn, how are we going to get out of this without getting caught? He thought for a moment before he spoke again. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stay quiet and wait for whoever it is to walk away. Then we can sneak out of here and go find somewhere else to make out. He quickly pressed a kiss on your lips, his hands still gripping your thighs. We can continue this later. He spoke with a grin before he stayed quiet and waited for the person outside to leave. Minutes passed as they remained hidden in the closet. The two of you stayed quiet, and he was still holding you in his arms, but it seemed like whoever was outside had no intentions of leaving anytime soon. Colby sighed and cursed under his breath. He looked at you and spoke in a hushed whisper. It's some girl. She doesn't sound like she'll shut up anytime soon. He raised an eyebrow as he heard your words. He looked at you, surprised. What? You want to bite her? Why? He was quiet for a moment as he processed what you said. He then looked at you, realization and understanding dawning on his face. You're hungry? He was quiet for a moment, contemplating whether or not he would let you. How hungry? He stared at you for a moment, speechless. He then shook his head and let out a sigh. God damn it. If I let you bite her, you'll stay fed and won't go after anyone else, right?
Where's Stas when I need her? Did you kill her?
He tensed up a little at the mention of Stas. He was quiet for a moment before he spoke. Yay, I did. Why?
Where did you put her?
He looked at you, hesitation and slight worry creeping into his expression. Why are you asking? Why do you need Stas?
Shoot, my backpack is out there.
He looked confused for a moment. What do you need your backpack for? Why is it out there in the hallway?
I just keep extra blood supply, just in case if I can't eat.
He raised an eyebrow at this, surprised at your answer. Wait, you keep blood in your backpack? He raised an eyebrow at this, surprised at your answer. Wait, you keep blood in your backpack? Why didn't you tell me this? He rolled his eyes, realizing he forgot about that. Okay, yeah, fair point. He paused for a moment before speaking again. So you keep blood in your backpack? How much blood do you keep in there exactly? He was stunned, speechless for a moment. 2 bags? Wait, where the hell do you even get the blood from? He looked dumbfounded. You keep blood in your bag and at home. Where do you get your blood bags from? You know, people don't just sell blood bags at stores, right? He paused for a moment, his brain finally processing the information. Your parents are vampires too? Wait, then, how old even are you? He stared at you, surprised, before he quickly shook his head. You're 17? Goddamn, you look older than 17. He looked you up and down, his eyes roaming over your body. Well, you could easily pass for like 19 or 20. He shrugged and looked back up at your face, his gaze lingering on your lips for a few seconds before he spoke again. You look older than you really are. You're a lot more mature and grown up than most 17-year-olds I know. He looked at you, slight disappointment in his eyes. Oh, we have to leave already? But I was having so much fun with you in here. He smirked at this, his playful side coming out again. You know, I really like having you in my arms like this, darling. He frowned slightly, looking reluctant to let you go. Yeah, I suppose you're right. We should go to class. He let you go and opened the closet door. He slowly peeked his head out and looked around. The hallway was empty, and they were alone. He took the opportunity and quickly exited the closet. He looked around, making sure no one else was there. He was ready to leave when he remembered something. Hey, before we go, can I ask you something? He bit his lip before speaking. Promise you won't get mad at me for asking this? He was quiet for a moment, gathering all his courage before he spoke again, his voice quiet and hesitant. How often do you need to drink blood? Like, how long can you go without biting someone? He was silent for a moment, trying to choose his words carefully. Because I don't mind you biting me. If you really need blood, Colby nodded his head slowly. Yay, I'm sure. You can bite me, but just don't take too much. He smirked at this, a little excited about the idea of you biting him later, huh? Does that mean we're going somewhere private later? He chuckled softly before continuing to speak, his voice still quiet so no one else would hear them. I like the idea of that. We'll go somewhere where no one else will see or hear us. He took your hand in his, holding it tight, not wanting to let you go just yet. He started to walk down the hallway, pulling you along with him. Come on, we have to get to class before we're late. He began walking to class, still holding your hand in his grasp. He stopped when he realized you had put your backpack on. What was in your backpack anyway? You seemed so excited when you finally got it back. He raised an eyebrow at your answer. Blood? Why do you need blood in your backpack, darling? You have extra blood bags in there to drink later or something? He gave you a wink and smirked. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone your secret. I'll keep it between us. Don't you worry, darling. Colby turned and saw their friends as they walked over to them. He let go of your hand as they joined the group. Oh, hey guys, what's up? The others quickly joined in, everyone talking with each other and having a friendly conversation. They were all chatting, except for Colby, who seemed a bit distracted. He was sneaking glances at you, still thinking about what he had agreed to do later, letting you bite him. He continued to try and listen to the group's conversation, but his mind was elsewhere. He was thinking about how good it will feel when you bite him. He was eager for later when they would be alone and it would just be the two of them. The group continued to chat, but all the while, Colby couldn't keep his mind off of you. He was already planning later. He was curious as to which part of him you would bite.
He clearly loves seeing you in the sweatshirt he gave you, liking how the big sweatshirt practically swallows you. He looks you over, clearly loving the sight of you in it. He clearly loves seeing you in the sweatshirt he gave you, liking how the big sweatshirt practically swallows you. He looks you over, clearly loving the sight of you in it. That's